What's up everyone and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started into what that title is down there and what you guys all are wanting to know about, if you guys haven't noticed, I did change my channel name from Kissy Chrissy to Christene Renshaw. That is actually my name, and the reason I changed it was because I thought it was more professional to change it. And so it is Christene as in E-N-E, so C-H-R-I-S-T-E-N-E, not I-N-E. And there's a little short story behind that. It's because when I was like about 12 years old and I like moved to Utah, I wanted to get a new name and I wanted to be like a brand new person. My sister was like, well, spell Christene as E-N-E because I have a friend that does that and that's way cooler than the version of I-N-E. And me as a little sister was like, oh, I want to be as cool as my sister. Well, I'm gonna spell it the cool way. And so I've just never changed it ever since, and that's how all my friends spell it, how my boyfriend spells it. And yeah, so let's get started. Today I'm going to be talking about why diets don't work. Here today I have joining me my precious little cat. You can barely see him because he's a little black little thing over here. Anyways, let's just get straight to the point. I myself have done plenty of different diets, as well as one that has cost me well over $400 to just like participate in and get all the things I needed for this diet. And with this diet, it worked. At least for the portion of time I did it. It was like a 30-day diet. I ended up losing 10 pounds, felt great, but I felt like I was starving myself, honestly. Like all I had to eat were just like a bunch of shakes, and then I had like one meal a day, and it just didn't give me as much energy as like they advertised. And I even saw a bunch of my friends do this at like the same diet, and it worked great for them, but honestly I was miserable. And about a month after I had stopped doing it, because A, I didn't want to do it, B, I couldn't afford another $400 diet, I had gained all those 10 pounds back. Even while just trying to watch what I was eating and just eating less, I gained it all back. We are always seeing all around like Jennifer's new fad diet, or this pill with Garcinia Cambogia or whatever is gonna make you lose 10 pounds in a month. And unfortunately, the reality of it is that diets don't usually work. And it's not because we're not physically trying hard enough, it's just how our brains are wired. And that's kind of what a lot of people don't understand. And the reason I am talking about this today is because I fell upon this TED Talk by a neuroscientist named Sandra Amott. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right, so I'll just put the spelling down here. And the author originally asked this question saying, why don't diets usually work? And it's basically because of how our brains see how our weight needs to be and like an equilibrium of it. So there's a part in your brain, it's called the hypothalamus, and this is what controls and regulates your weight in your body. So this sees your weight as what they call like a set point, which is actually really misleading because it's a range between 10 and 15 pounds where your body would normally feel that your weight should be at. And it's always going to try to get to that weight no matter how many times you're dieting and trying to get down those 10 pounds. So if you are not in between this set point, your body's gonna react to it and either slow or speed up your metabolism, or it's going to start storing fat to order to use later. So Sandra explains this like a thermostat. So your body is set at like a certain weight, or I guess it's a range, like I said. It's kind of confusing. And so if your thermostat is set at 75 degrees, that is the degrees that it thinks that your house needs to be at. So no matter, even if you're gonna open a window and try to cool down your house by just opening a window, your thermostat is gonna respond to that by kicking on the furnace and heating up the house in order to compensate for that window. So even if it does feel like it's cooling off for a moment or so, your thermostat's gonna react to that. And this is exactly how your body reacts to losing a significant amount of weight. So let's say you do a diet and you lose 10 pounds. Well, your body's gonna react by slowing down your metabolism and storing a lot more fat than it usually would because it thinks that you're starving. The body thinks that basically you're in a famine. And so you could be dieting successfully for 10 years and be maintaining this one weight, but your body could probably just think that it's the longest famine that you have ever been through, and as soon as you stop doing that weird diet or whatever, your body is going to react and it's going to try to get back up to that weight. And like the sad truth is like, yes, these set points can change, but they rarely do. And from an ancestral standpoint, this makes sense, because when like our ancestors were facing like difficult times where they weren't going to be having like a lot of food, or they just kind of needed to scrounge the food they had. Our bodies have never had issues with gaining weight, because like there was always going to be like famines and like trying to figure out when's your next meal gonna be. Like we've always had those issues. Let's get into like real life examples on why diet doesn't work. Obviously, like you saw how my diets don't work for me, because as soon as I stopped doing it, my body just basically skyrocketed and I gained back those 10 pounds. So let's take a look at like the Biggest Losers contestant. Back in 2016, there was a study done on the Biggest Losers contestants. And so it was done by the National Institution of Health, and they followed 14 Biggest Losers contestants that were off the show. And 93% of these 93% of the 14 Biggest Losers had gained more than what they had lost on the show. So let's say Sally was at 230 pounds. She lost about 100, was at 130. And as soon as she got off the show, instead of just, normally getting back at that 230, her body overcompensated and she now is at like 245. 93% of those contestants gained more than what they had originally started the show on. And it's because our body reacts to that starving. So with that, you're probably wondering, well, if diets don't work, how do I lose this weight? How do I become healthy? And there was actually another study done with comparisons to, there was 4 key things that makes a person healthy, no matter if you're overweight, underweight, or a normal average weight. And these things were exercising for 30 minutes, at least 3 times a week, eating fruits and vegetables, no smoking, and drinking moderately. So when comparison with these 4 things, after comparing them with overweight, normal weight, and underweight people, with someone who was extremely overweight and someone who was of normal weight, if both of these people were doing all 4 of these categories, they had the same death risk. So that overweight person was just as likely to die as the normal weight person. But as soon as an overweight person would do let's say they did 3 of those healthy items versus 4, their increase of death risk went significantly up. So as if a normal weight person would do maybe 2 or 3 of these activities, the same overweight person, their death risk went up by 7 times just because they were overweight. So again, you're probably still asking, then what do I do to be healthy? First off, do those 4 habits, because your death risk will be just the same. And even when you're doing those 4 healthy habits, like the exercising 3 times a week and eating healthier, just the fruits and vegetables, you're probably gonna notice that weight just fall off normally, and your body may react to that. But like I said, set points, they rarely go down, but it's not impossible. You just need to have a healthy lifestyle. And that is the main idea here, is to have a healthy lifestyle. You need to choose to be healthy. You can have your cake and eat it too. You just can't have it all the time. You just need to choose better things. The biggest thing is eating mindfully, knowing what you're eating and what you're putting into your body. So the difference between eating mindfully and dieting is because dieting will take out core nutrients like carbs. I hear a lot of people going on no carb diets, and that is terrible. Your body needs the carbs because it acts as an energy source for when you're working out. So if you're going on no carb diet or no meat diets, your body needs these nutrients. The difference between the dieting and then eating mindfully is just knowing instead of having regular processed meats, you're eating 93% lean meats, which means there's less fat in those meats. So you're still getting meat. And then like eating bread. Instead of buying like white starch bread, you start eating like whole wheat bread and making sure anything bread source is whole wheat. And then just mindfully eating how much you're eating of the bread. So don't completely cut this out. Don't do it like a diet. Just make sure that you know how many carbs you are eating in a day. And there's plenty of apps out there that once you put in your weight, it'll tell you what is a healthy amount of carbs and meats and fruits and vegetables that you should have in a day. And this is not a diet, because obviously it tells you how much that you need, but you can always go over that. The American Heart Association also gives tips just like these to help you with making healthier choices in your life and having a healthier lifestyle. So, such as like cooking from home. Like, don't go out. If you cook from home, you're gonna eat a lot less calories and it's gonna be a lot healthier for you. Also, you can choose exactly what goes into your food. Like I said, that meat portion, that's a really good one. So just eating more lean meat, eating less of the processed foods. Also watching, so they also say limit your sugar intake. So just watching and reading the labels and seeing how much sugar is going into your body, just be mindful of that. Do not cut sugar out because your body needs sugar, but just watch how much you're taking, because it's not that fat makes you fat, it's the amount of sugar makes you fat. But no one's fat, everyone's lovely. We're just gonna put that side note in there. Also, don't, like I said, the American Heart Association says don't dismiss entire food groups like carbs. And also watch sodium counts. Watch how much salt is in your food and how much you're going to be intaking in a day. And it's just a lifestyle. Honestly, it's just little things like that is going to help you be more healthy. And if you're exercising like 3 times a week, just like that study says, you'll watch the weight fall off naturally. You shouldn't be dieting because your brain is going to react to that. Whereas if you do a healthy lifestyle over time, that set point can change. It can change to be a lower amount than what you are at. But just to let you know, you shouldn't be watching the scale anyways, because muscle weighs more than fat. So you could be working out and doing all these healthy things and then not seeing the scale move whatsoever. But your body is getting healthier. You can obviously see it. What I say, instead of watching the scale, if you are trying to do this healthy lifestyle, like I totally recommend, do not do diets, then take progress photos. Take like a before and then take an after photo between like a month. And don't be weighing yourself on the scale. It's gonna make you think you're gonna need to go on a diet when in reality, it's just not healthy. Diets may work occasionally, but it's not realistic to do to your body, especially when how your brain reacts to your weight in this thing. It doesn't make sense. Just don't do diets. Just live a healthy lifestyle. Have that Oreo, have that piece of cake, but don't be eating a cake for 3 meals. Just watch what you're doing. Eat mindfully. That's all I'm saying. And only weigh yourself once a month, because honestly, you're not going to be seeing changes over every day because your weight fluctuates, especially with water. So definitely take before and after photos, and also measure inches. You'll see inches around your waist and around your chest and around your thighs. And if you're eating healthy and living this healthy lifestyle while going to the gym, it doesn't matter what the scale says, because you will be gaining muscles, you will be toning out your body, you'll be living this healthy lifestyle. I know I'm probably gonna get like a lot of hate for like, oh, diets do work, I've done it for 8 years. Like I said, you could successfully diet for 8 years, and as soon as you fall off that wagon, your body's going to react to that. And that's all I'm saying, is don't think you have to diet to lose weight, because honestly, they don't work. There's a bunch of facts that would say otherwise. I know that they don't work. If you want to check out this TED Talk video for yourself, which has a bit more information, I'll put it down in the description so you guys can watch that. It's only about a 9-minute video. It's super helpful. It has a bunch of graphs and stuff and information. You can go check it out yourself. But all in all, diets don't work. Just live a healthy lifestyle, love who you are, and don't worry about what the scale says. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. Watch out for Saturday. It's going to be a big video. If any of you guys have been on my social medias like Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, you probably saw in my story how I said, hey, new video is coming up, and I put some before and after pictures. That video is going to be on Saturday, so tune in for that, and thanks for watching. Bye! So that you would last longer in this. Watch how out your